Mr. Shapiro, you talked about white privilege, and just this week, I had a conversation with Rachel Lazar, who's done some work, a Jewish American woman who's done some work on this area, as well as having extensive conversations with Dr. Greg Parks of Wake Forest University, who's also talked quite a bit about critical race theory. And it's my understanding that white privilege is not telling individuals that they cannot speak, but it is a term for societal privilege that individuals have as a benefit of their white skin. And I don't think that, and I think—
Before we begin, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the biggest political hearings and debates. Today's exchange features Ben Shapiro and a congresswoman in a tense discussion over white privilege, identity politics, and free speech. Both sides make strong arguments, and we'll break down exactly what happened so you can decide for yourself.
Being white has societal privileges that being black does not. But
we can talk about how that manifests, because that's
I'm also interested in what you just said now, was that you would stand next to anyone who has this. So, Mr. Shapiro, my question to you is, for Ms. Dunston, the tying the noose around the campus and writing messages that target African-American young students, would you consider hate speech, and then would you stand next to her and fight for her?
As I say, I would. This is the first I'm hearing about it, honestly, but
really,
but from hearing about
Ben Shapiro and a congresswoman engage in a heated exchange over white privilege, identity politics, campus free speech, and racism during a congressional hearing. In this video, we break down the key moments, summarize both perspectives, and examine the broader debate over free expression and race in America. If you enjoy factual breakdowns of congressional hearings, political debates, and current events, be sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments.
When someone like— and the issue is that white privilege makes people uncomfortable to talk about the societal privilege that they have.
Well, to me, what I say on campuses all the time is, if you want to cite instances of racism that we can all find and fight together, that's something that I am more than willing to stand next to you and fight, because that's obviously stuff that we should fight together. But when you just say that there is a white privilege out there in the ether, and that by dint of birth your skin color generates for you an advantage, what you're really saying to people is that your view is less valuable because you have not experienced what I've experienced. And that is an identity argument, that's a character argument, that's not a rational political argument that can actually be taken on in any way. It's more of a cudgel and a club than it is an attempt to open a discussion.
Well, I think it's a demonstrable evidence that through society's demographics, that being white has societal privileges that being black does not. But
we can talk about how that manifests, because that's—
I'm also interested in what you just said now, was that you would stand next to anyone who has this. So, Mr. Shapiro, my question to you is, for Ms. Dunston, the tying the noose around the campus and writing messages that target African-American young students, would you consider hate speech, and then would you stand next to her and fight for her?
As I say, I would. This is the first I'm hearing about it, honestly, but
really,
but from hearing about it, maybe because it's local. I mean, I'm from LA. But in any case, I'm more than happy to stand alongside her and fight whatever group was responsible for this. Not only more than happy, I mean, you're talking about the alt-right. Again, I was the #1 target of anti-Semitic harassment from the alt-right last year. So I'm more than happy to do all that. And I think there's one more distinction that has to be made. When we talk about cases like Taylor's, they're horrific, and the administration is siding with Taylor. Okay, the administration is doing the right thing by Taylor, or trying to do the right thing by Taylor, as they should be. And I think that we need to make a distinction between cases where the administration is actively participating in the suppression of speech, and cases in which the administration is trying to do the right thing in order to punish people for application.
One of the most talked about moments from this hearing centered on the debate over white privilege and whether the concept helps explain societal inequality or discourages open discussion. The congresswoman began by challenging Ben Shapiro's previous comments. She argued that white privilege is widely understood as describing societal advantages that can come with being white, not as a way to silence white Americans or prevent them from expressing their opinions. Shapiro acknowledged that racism exists and stated that he is willing to stand alongside anyone fighting genuine acts of discrimination. However, he argued that discussions about white privilege often shift away from evidence and toward judging people's viewpoints based on their race rather than the strength of their arguments. According to Shapiro, when someone is told that their opinion carries less weight simply because of their identity, meaningful debate becomes much more difficult. He described this as replacing rational discussion with identity-based reasoning. The Congresswoman responded by pointing to racial disparities throughout society, arguing that those differences demonstrate the existence of white privilege. She maintained that recognizing those advantages is an important part of addressing inequality.